So, waiting for the cars to appear. Wonderful sight to see. And via Alan Hyde, who is also a man of Kent, he'd like us to say on behalf of David Mercer that, who is also important to me now because he said it yesterday, Alan Hyde's dentist, that his team have worked all night on that car. I don't think Alan was involved in the process of working. He may have been bringing them cups of tea, and he's very grateful to his turf for all the effort they put in to get that car onto the grid. That is the extra run in number 41. It's a quick car, David Mercer. A lot of it sports car racing experience. So here they come. Hervé Rigoux is pacing them in the Jägermeister liveried Porsche 962, a real classic Group C car, if ever there was one, the Porsche 962. And we're racing then as they, with lights ablaze, come out of Club Corner over the start-finish line. Let's hope they can this time get through Abbey with no problem. And Hervé Rigoux sees off Gareth Evans. So it's the Porsche that leads, the Mercedes is second, and third and fourth are the two Lanciers. Number 5, Roger Wills, and number 6, Nicolas Menassian, who I think is going to win this race if he keeps his nose clean.
Okay, clean start for them this time through then. It's Hervé Rigoux that leads the way in the number 17 Porsche 962 coming out now, as you say, lights ablaze, and through to Aintree. He leads the way. Then it's just winner Gareth Evans. Then it is Roger Wills. Nicolas Menassian is in 4th place in the second of the Lanciers. Paul Clemens Mascanda is in 6th place up towards Brooklands.
Yeah, the two Lanciers running side by side there. 6 goes ahead of 5, and Nicolas Menassian takes 3rd place. But we are now having a chance to see a current professional racing driver. He's won here in GP2 in the past. In the Formula 3000 in the past. Nicolas Menassian won here in Formula 3, and has been a works driver in the Le Mans series as well. So Nicolas Menassian in 3rd place now, but Hervé Rigoux also was a very quick Formula 3 driver. That was quite a long time ago now, but Hervé Rigoux, quick driver, out in front. Gareth Evans, who mentioned yesterday on the podium that he's a very lucky chap to be able to drive this car. He's a true gentleman driver there in 2nd place as the cars go through Beckett's.
Yeah, good start to the race for Rigoux. He hasn't driven the car for 2 days, and then it was very wet and dry when he was out for qualifying. But he's made a very good start to this race, and he's a second or so clear of Gareth Evans.
So the race of half an hour duration. They have to make their pit stop just to bring you up to date with the mandatory pit stop, which comes between the 10th and 20th minute in this half-hour race. So the leaders making their way up towards Club Corner and the end of the first lap. And Hervé Rigoux leading. In fact, the end of the second lap now. Hervé Rigoux, Gareth Evans in 2nd place. As they come up past the pitch, Nicolas Menassian in 3rd place. The second of the formation laps was counted as the first lap of the race, in fact, although they didn't change places. That's why I'm saying the second lap into lap 3 now. Andy is 5th, Strummer in the Scania is in 6th place. And there's the Tic Tac car, the Tic Tac Porsche number 33, with a problem perhaps. No, going okay. So.
And Peter Merrick is now onto the tail of Iskander as well, which lost a place on the previous lap to Steve Tandy. The leaders heading up towards Brooklands. The gap, I think, starting to come down with Gareth Evans' Silver Sabre Mercedes closing up, inching up towards the tail of the Porsche.
Well, I don't think he's going to find Hervé Rigoux easy to overtake. Hervé in the... I think a lot of people would, memories of Group C, would like this car to win simply because it is so reminiscent of Group C in its heyday. The Kramer brothers ran the car. It was mainly driven by Thierry Boutsen, and it's going through the Belgian driver. It's going through, so that's another reason why Hervé Rigoux would like to be able to win this one. Heads over the brow, up towards Maggots for the 3rd time in the race, 3rd lap 3.
Okay, here they go. Henrik Linkenberg on the other side of the track looked like he was going slower than he should be, going out of Aintree, the Tic Tac branded car. The leaders make their way through Beckett's. Gap's come down a little bit more since I saw them last. It's only creeping down. And Nicolas Menassian on a very similar pace to them, then running in 3rd place. Then Peter Merrick still trying to get ahead of the Viscanda and getting very close to him now. So the 102 Spice trying to get a place as he goes on Angus Straight.
Talking of Spices, Mike Donovan working his way up the pack in 12th place last time through. Leaders going through Vale. Hervé Rigoux still out in front. And as they come out of Club Corner, we should see... Or will we? There we are, yes, coming up to the end of the lap. These two pulling well clear of the 3rd place Nicolas Menassian, who at the moment settling into the Lancia. I don't know if he's ever driven the car before, but Nicolas Menassian in 3rd place, putting in quicker lap times now. But at the moment it's Porsche, Sabre Mercedes, and then Lancia.
course, I suppose Nicola's also got this disadvantage of most of the field have had one dry race already. He's only been out there in the weak conditions, so Messier coming up towards their left-hander and heading up towards the Wellington straight. Messier's got to get used to the car as well, of course, and the Peugeot previously, so it's all against it, but he's got up to third place.
Having a dice down on the inside there to try and take the lead there was Gareth Evans, but Hervé Rigoux totally fairly just occupied the middle of the road. As if to say to Gareth, well, if you really want to have a go, go for it, but he didn't, and so he's still in second place. The Mercedes still second, the leading car, still the Jägermeister Porsche. Hervé Rigoux at the wheel, comes through Woodcote. And as they go past the national race pits, we're going to have another pass from the Sauber Mercedes to charge its way through to the lead. Yes, we are. It goes through on the inside, going into Cops corner. So Gareth Evans now has the lead. Hervé Rigoux picking through the corner, gets back onto the tail of the Sauber Mercedes, but I think we'll find the Sauber will stay ahead.
Yeah, just stretching away now, and through Maggots they go, and the gap widening. So, and also, I think starting to come back at them on this lap now is the number 6 Lancia, driven by Manasseh, the French driver. So only inching up towards them, but he's definitely finding his rhythm and finding his pace.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, given that, as I say, I don't think he's ever driven the car before. So Nicolas Manasseh may have driven it up the road or around the paddock, but he's not driven it in anger on the racetrack until just now. So he is beginning to close up on Gareth Evans, and of course now the first car he'll reach at the top 2 is going to be the orange Porsche into Club Corner, and they have got the pit stops also to think about. Getting on the grass there, back on the track is the Courage, I think that was, and Manasseh through in third place. Still the fastest laps being set by Gareth Evans. Got Manasseh through Abbey then. Roger Wills is 4th in his Lancia, number 5. Steve Tandy is 5th in the number 27. In the number 27 Nissan, and then in 6th place Peter Merrick. With Mike Donovan not coming through the pack quite as rapidly as we thought he might. He had a misfire on Friday, which wasn't totally caught yesterday. There's David Mercer with the windscreen fitted back in his spice, but going slowly.
And it's wheel to wheel for 5th place. And Steve Tandy just driven all the way around the outside of Roger Wills. He sort of started the move on the way into the loop, couldn't quite get through, but he stuck with it, stayed around the outside, and on the exit of the loop, he got through ahead of Wills. Good move that.
Well, Hervé Rigoux is hanging on to Gareth Evans. Evans isn't going to be able to relax at all. So Steve Tandy up into 4th place. Nicolas Manasseh in 3rd place. Not yet on terms with the 2nd place Porsche. He's going to get there. There's the leader into Beckett after Maggots.
Yeah, Rigoux definitely held on to the race leader, but since I saw them last, the gap has now for the first time really started to widen between them. To get on with this, he suspects that Manasseh is going to get quicker and quicker in the Lancia as the race wears on. Tandy got that place, is now 4th, pulling away from Roger Wills, and into 6th place, having got the place on the previous lap is Peter Merrick Spice.
Behind him, Richard Eyre in the Jaguar has moved ahead of the Viscandia. So Peter Merrick now, sorry, not Peter Merrick, Peter Stubber down to 9th place, down to 8th place, I mean. And in 9th place is the other Spice, number 9, Nick Chester. And David Mercer down in 15th place, all obviously not well with his car. So leaders through, and Hervé Rigoux, I would say, a little bit closer that time through, although no, it's not deceptive there, because the fastest lap set again by Gareth Evans in the lead after 5 laps. Yesterday we got 15 laps out of the 30 minutes.
I think it's fair to say Hervé Rigoux is quicker in the first part of the lap, through Abbey, through Farm, through Village, and through the loop, but once they get up to Brooklands, Woodcote Copse, that's where he lost out last time. He's closed back up at the start of this lap. He's not right back with the race leader, but he's only half a second or so behind him.
Absolutely. It's curious, as I say, it's the first half of the lap where he can close up. So the more powerful Sauber Mercedes able to stay in front on the second half of the lap. We used to say the first half of the lap was the fast part of Silverstone. Now it's the second half, really. As they come through Woodcote Corner to the second part of the lap, heading towards Cops Corner. That's where the Mercedes can stretch its legs. Yes, it's opened up a noticeable gap compared with what it was as they came into Brooklands just now.
Yeah, just coming out of Cop's corner, going to lap the 112 Jonathan Fay driven Tiger, which will hopefully stay out of the way. Pulls to the inside, sees them coming, and they're nipped by on the way into Beckett's corner. That was good driving by him. He saw it coming and stayed offline. The gap will come down a little bit more between the top two.
That was largely because Hervé Regou's considerable experience of racing helped him know what to do in traffic, whereas I think Gareth Evans a bit more circumspect in that bit of lappery that they needed, and so passing the Tiger of Jonathan Fay, and so that enabled Hervé Regou to close up once more. Lap 6, and in third place Nicolas Menassian has just done his personal best lap. He's 3.5 seconds behind Hervé Regou, but if he can catch Hervé, he'll catch them both really, because Hervé Regou is now right up behind the Sauber Mercedes once more as the cars come through to start the 7th lap. You'll see when they come into your sight just how close the Porsche is to the Mercedes.
Yeah, very much so. So the Red Jägermeister backed Porsche closing up, once again under braking into Village corner. Very, very difficult to get through into the loop. Although we have seen Steve Tanley with that move around the outside of Roger Wills, but I think Gareth Evans is going to be quite easy to pass as that. And out onto the Wellington straight they go. The gap just widening up slightly between the pair of them, and I think perhaps falling away a little bit now is Menassian.
In fact, no. Last time around he did a quicker lap than the leader, but it's not by much. But it was his personal best lap, Nicolas Menassian. So as he gets more accustomed to the car, again Hervé Regou right up behind Gareth Evans, who will certainly know he's been in a race at the end of this. Comes on to National Pit Straight, and it is still the Mercedes ahead of the Porsche. Again, the Porsche has to drop back on the straight. Doesn't have the power to live with the Mercedes 5-litre twin-turbo engine in the Mercedes, as opposed to a 3-litre engine in the Porsche. And of course, these races not about fuel economy in the way that Group C racing was. A rather smoky car going past me here, number 164. That's Adrian Watt with the Argo. He'll smoke his way up to you in a moment, Chris, I think.
Yes, very much so. That's not going to go much further, is it? That's almost certainly heading for the pins.
Ian from the pins.
Yes, Russell.
The reason that Henry Lindbergh, the 33-962, the tic-tac car, is in the pits and retired is a broken gear lever. Broken gear lever on the 962 for Henry Lindbergh, 33.
Thanks, Russell. Well, it's not smoking now that we picked it up on the camera. There's the Courage. About to be lapped by the two leaders again. They're nose to tail as they Hervé Regou tucked right up behind Gareth Evans. They go through on the inside of the, I don't think he saw them coming really, number 71 Georg Schalgren with the Courage C626S. Vancees back with you, Chris.
Yeah, Don Miles, number 140, and the Jaguar is the next one. They're going to lap. A little glance up the inside there from the number 17 Hervé Regou car. The Porsche tried to squeeze into a gap that really wasn't there, and he stays with it, coming out of the corner, coming out of Aintree, and no, not quite close enough. He's going to be at Brooklands. He'll have to brake up late again to do anything.
Yes, the Porsche just has to have the power of the Mercedes on the straight, but I must say that the nose, the orange nose, was tucked under the rear, just snapping Don Miles with the Jaguar XJR 5B. But Hervé had that orange nose, Jägermeister nose, right under the rear wing as they went into the loop that time. Coming out of Woodcote then, ahead of them is the number 30 Momo liveried Nissan of Peter Garrett. That Momo livery more associated with perhaps Porsches actually, but the car raced in the IMSA series in the States. Up the curb he was, didn't he?
Yeah, because he almost got squeezed by Peter Garrett there. Despite the blue flags, the Nissan driver almost didn't see the race leader coming, or maybe expected him to go the other side. The gap very suddenly squeezed upon the race leader, so he had to take to the curb.
Yeah, so I felt I gave the wrong impression earlier on about this being a pit stop race. Of course it isn't. It's a half-hour blast to the flag, and in that bit of lappery I think Hervé Regou lost out because Peter Garrett didn't leave him any room at all, whereas Gareth Evans was going to hang about and went right over the curb, as Chris says. So Nicolas Menassian in third place, putting in quicker and quicker laps in the Lancia, but unable to lap quite as quickly now as Gareth Evans and Hervé Regou. Come through to complete lap 8. We've got 13 minutes and a few seconds to go. This time the Porsche not quite as close to the Sauber Mercedes as it was a lap ago, but I think he'll be able to make that up again in the next bit of the circuit.
Yeah, this is a strong, sweet air coming through Farm. Yeah, good again on the brakes into the village, just grabs half a car length, nudges up again a little bit closer to the tail of the race leader, a lot closer actually coming into the loop. As soon as they come out through to creep away again, but he's got the gap down to a car length or so.
I think we'll find Mike Donovan, who's risen to 9th place, about to take 8th if he hasn't already done so, from the Iskandar, number 21. They were running very close together, and Mike putting in quicker and quicker lap times in the second of the C2 cars, having started well back on the grid. Meanwhile, for the lead, that gap that had opened up has been totally whittled away by Hervé Ragu, who's once more right up behind the Sauber Mercedes as the cars make their way onto the national pit straight. With 12 minutes and a few seconds to go, turn through Cops Corner. Domination in 3rd place, kind of matching the times of the leading 2 cars now, rather than going quicker, not catching them therefore.
Mike Donovan has got that place, and he's pulling away very rapidly indeed from Paul Stubber. He's got a long way now to try and make up the next place. That's going to be Richard Eyre that he'll come up to next. Again, very late on the brakes for the 2nd place car on the way to Beckett's, but he loses a bit of momentum coming out through towards Chapel. Yeah,
that I think was almost an attempt at overtaking, but he went wide, as you say, and got off the line, and so he has dropped back a bit for the moment. But as we've seen on previous occasions, Hervé Ragu knows how to use the strong points of the lap for the Porsche to close the gap down again. Comes into club to end lap 9. We got 15 laps out of the race yesterday, out of the half hour. It should be the same, I think, today. Gap 1 second between the top 2. Nicolas Massion in the Lancia can see them ahead of him on the straights, but can't get any closer. His lap time's still about the same, or slightly slower. Back into the race goes number 164, Adrian Watt of the Argo.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Hervé Ragu can almost do with waiting. Sometimes he hasn't got too much pressure from behind, waiting until as late as he can to try and get the lead of the race, because otherwise, with that Sauber Mercedes being quicker on the straights, he's going to be the sitting duck on the final lap, so he almost wants to leave it to the last lap or two to try and make his move.
Ian, from the pits.
Yes, Russell.
You just mentioned Adrian Watt rejoining the race in the 164 Argo. That was due to a brake duct coming loose, so the team got in and under, removed the offending part, and he's away.
Thanks, Russell. Talking of things coming loose, the left-hand door of the Iskandar has come loose. It's flapping around, not come so loose, there was a bit of smoke there from the Iskandar as it comes into Abbey. But it's only so loose that the organiser will be concerned, but we've got the leaders back at Beckett's.
Yeah, just making their way towards Beckett's now, and it's the same old story really. The gap was sort of ebbed and flowed between half a second, a couple of tenths of a second, maybe out to a second sometimes, but it's back to less than half a second now as they come onto the Hanger Straight.
And Gareth Evans goes to the left-hand side of the track. Hervé Ragu sits in his slipstream as best he can. He's as close as he's been for a long time on the Hanger Straight, coming into Stoke Corner now. But certainly these Mercedes pretty bulletproof cars, so it's going to be down to Hervé Ragu finding some way of unsettling Gareth Evans, who's not done anything like the amount of racing that the Belgian has, as they come into the final part of the lap. 10 laps completed. We've got 9 minutes and 15 seconds, just 9 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Leaders come into Abbey, and he might even be close enough this time, Chris, to have a go.
Yeah, he's stuck with him for the whole lap now, hasn't he? So this is better from Ragu, and holding on to the tail of the Sauber Mercedes, inching up ever closer to the rear wing of the Silver Bullet, the lead of the race. And out they come now, and he really is tucked up behind the rear wing of the race leader as they come out through Adrian onto the Wellington Straight. This is as close as he's been in.
Yeah, but the Mercedes still has the power to accelerate away from the Porsche. But again, Hervé Ragu closes up, having on the previous lap, the lap they just finished, set the fastest lap of the race. So he's unrelenting in the pressure he's applied to Gareth Evans, who accelerates out of left field now onto the national pit straight, and will probably be able to open up the gap a little as they head towards Cops Corner. That, of course, is where Gareth Evans took the lead earlier on in the race, coming into Cops Corner, and he's going through there. Now the gap stretching, and now contracting again as they head up towards Baggett's and Beckett's.
Doesn't sound like the engine firing properly on David Mercer's Spice. The number 41 car, I think, headed towards the pits as he goes very slowly, or fairly slowly, up the Wellington Straight. The two leaders on the other side of the track making their way through Beckett's now, and Hervé Ragu. Again, he's getting very close to the tail of the race leader, up towards Chapel.
Here they come then onto Hanger Straight. Gareth Evans occupying the middle of the road, moves over to the left. Very good. Not going to be close enough to take a dive down on the inside. Yes, David Mercer's team's hard work overnight hasn't been rewarded with a good result. He's way down the order, several laps behind. Leaders coming into club corner, and very good. I think trying to rehearse his last lap, isn't he, here? Trying to get himself as close as he can to see whether there's some way he could get through that corner quicker and across the line ahead of the Mercedes on the last lap. Well, that's 11 laps. 7 minutes and 20 seconds. I would say 4 more laps we should be able to manage. In third place, Nicola Manassi has just done his personal best lap of the race, which is quicker than the two ahead of him. And through the inside, Chris.
We have now got a race leader. That was a lovely move to carry great speed out of Farm, and Ragu tucked it at the inside on the way into Village. It's the point of the circuit where he has been quicker all the way through the race. Now he tries to make his escape. Now he creates himself a 3 or 4 car length advantage coming onto the Wellington straight, but we know the 7 Mercedes is quicker in a straight line.
If Hervé can get, as he has done on this lap, into the braking zone for Brooklands before the Mercedes can get level with him, he's going to be okay. But of course the other place, as we saw earlier on in the race, where the Porsche is vulnerable, is heading towards Copse Corner. Gareth Evans is well aware of that, will now try and put himself into a position where he can pass again, as he did earlier on in the race. Hervé Ragu, taking to the left-hand side of the road, heads into Copse Corner, got there just ahead. Now he really has to cash in on the next few corners to build up a bit of a gap. And Nicola Manassi, whilst these two are swapping places, may be able to get a little bit closer.
Okay, what's the braking going to be like at Beckett's then? Because Ragu has been better on the brakes through Beckett's up until this point, but now the rules have switched. It might be Gareth Evans' turn to brake a bit later and have a target to aim for. Hervé is always going to be quicker on the brakes than the Porsche. He's going to hang on to the lead. Gareth Evans goes for it though on the inside line, and Hervé Ragu sticks with him around the outside. They watch the Formula 1 drivers now going to do what they could do it in Group C, and Hervé Ragu sticks to the outside line and sticks to the lead as well. A great move there by the Belgian to hang on to the lead. Comes out of the final corner, comes up to complete 12 minutes. He's got another 5.5 minutes to survive in front, and all the time I think that the Lancia is edging closer. Maybe a factor as well. It's a kind of repeat of the Formula 1 race, isn't it, here? Back with you, Chris. Out of fine curve they come, and Hervé Ragu's got himself around about 6 or 7 tenths of a second advantage. I mean, maybe not quite that much, 3 or 4 tenths of a second advantage.
Here's a replay. Here's a replay of that manoeuvre. Attempt to pass by Gareth Evans. The car's almost exchanging paint. Not quite. Great close racing there, and Ragu emerges in front. And there may be a bit of orange paint on the silver car. Now they're coming down towards Brooklands, and I think Gareth Evans is going to make a go for it. No, but Hervé is the later breaker and gets into the corner in front. And what you've noticed throughout this race, the immaculate lines that Hervé Ragu has taken. You might think for a moment he might, but this is the sign of a professional driver, and really is doing a brilliant job to keep this Porsche. Now he's got ahead of him, ahead of the Mercedes. Comes through Woodcote. But again, the Mercedes has got the power to get up alongside the Porsche. And it's going to happen, and it's going to go through, but no, he was going to turn on the line, but the Mercedes was there, so Hervé had to jig to one side. And the Sam Mercedes back in front. Chris, here they come.
He is, yeah. So it is 2 to 3 car lengths advantage now for the new race leader, the revised race leader, Gareth Evans. And I am looking at this Lancia, which is coming at them now from third place. Nicola Manassi in the Lancia LT2 car number 6. I think you'll find at the end of the lap he's much closer towards them, thanks to their infighting.
We've not made this 1,000 kilometres rather than just 30 minutes, but the 6 hours. Coming down into Stowe Corner, the Mercedes in front once more. Hervé Ragu in second place. It's plan A didn't work. He's got plan B to work out over the last couple of laps. We're on lap 13. Time for 2 more laps, I would say. Same as yesterday, 15 laps. Hervé Ragu quicker there through the final corner, club corner, right up behind the Mercedes again as they come up towards Abbey. So is he going to have another attempt to do what he did a few laps ago? Back with you, Chris.
We now have some traffic as well between now and the end of the race. They're going to go up to probably somewhere on this lap. They're going to start to lap the slower car. There's 6 to deal with, so this could be another opportunity for Venezia, who's absolutely flying after them, you know, in third place, reeling them in, and we've still got the Mercedes Sauber in the lead of the race, but Hervé Ragu is hanging on to him, and then as they go under the bridge now, out of entry, comes the third place car of Venezia.
Yes, he's just done his personal best lap, but the fastest lap of the race was done last time around by Gareth Evans in the Mercedes, so the Sauber Mercedes in the lead, the Porsche pursuing it through Brooklands up to Luffield. There's the Lancia, much closer, as you say, Chris. What a gorgeous looking car that is, and wonderful livery that it has. And one of the great fascinations of the Group C was the livery, except for the, I suppose, fairly dull silver Mercedes, which comes out onto the national pit straight. Porsche behind it, there's the Lancia in third place. I think he's going to run out of time. 1 lap to go after this one, through Cops Corner. Mercedes, Porsche, Lancia is the order still as they come up towards you, Chris.
And there are 5 cars, 5 slower cars making their way through Beckett's, and in towards Beckett's now goes the race leader. Lucky enough to get past some of them on the Angus straight, but he's not going to get past all of them on the Angus straight. And this might be the opportunity for both Ragu, and it might even be half a chance for Manassian. So the Sauber still leads. And
as you made the point very pertinently, there's a load of traffic ahead. There's the Courage, there's the number 12 Porsche to be lapped. That's the car of Russell Kempnick. And in this traffic, what's going to happen? Well, they've got past the Courage. Ahead of them is more traffic. Now, I think Curve is going to be quicker in the traffic, isn't he? Manassian, of course, was the driver a few years ago here. Had in the Peugeot, had a big crash whilst lapping back markers at Chapel. So, on to the last lap. On the last lap, going through Brooklyn's vigorous waving of the blue flag. The marshal's well aware what's going on. Diving down on the inside, there's a lap of back marker. Back with you, Chris.
Yeah, it's absolutely thick with traffic down here. It's worked out quite nicely so far for Gareth Evans. Just get a little bit bogged on the way out towards the loop. I mean, Aston is the one that seems to be gaining most ground because he hasn't got through any of the traffic yet. So the number 6, Lancia Martini, still in third place. He's going to get past 2 of them on the way towards Rutland. He's going to go 3 abreast to do it as well.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to sort himself out with the Mercedes in front and some racing going on behind from some slower cars. There's the Mercedes. There, where is the Jägermeister? He's got delayed, hasn't it? So I think it's all right for Gareth Evans. He did spin on the last lap of the race because he was carved up by a Porsche yesterday, not the Jägermeister car. Another one, 1 mile getting in the way. And the Lancia is coming up alongside Hervé Rigoux. There it is, Nicolas Manassian. You've not quite got him in the picture there. There he is. So we've got the Porsche and the Lancia running nose to tail. So the one who's gained on this final lap through the back markers has been Gareth Evans. The one who's lost out in the traffic has been Hervé Rigoux, who's now being challenged. Here he is coming into Beckett's.
And the Lancia's gone through. Manassian with a great run out of Cops Corner, flies through. By the time they get to Maggots, he's already 3 or 4 car lengths clear. And actually, Rigoux is still to get past the back markers. He's wondering if he's got a problem now. So you've now got Mercedes leading from Lancia, Porsche down to 3rd.
I think the gap is too much, isn't it? But Nicolas Manassian now has really settled into this Lancia, which he'd never driven before, comes down into Stone Corner. The Mercedes leads, the Lancia is 2nd, the Porsche down to 3rd place after such a good fight by Hervé Rigoux. It's now Nicolas Manassian who takes up the cudgels for France in the Italian car. But it's going to be a win. This is the last lap. The checker flag awaits, and out of the club corner to take the checker flag for the 2nd time this weekend in the Group C races. Gareth Evans wins, but a tremendous drive by both of the drivers behind him. Nicolas Manassian coming through to take 2nd place in the Lancia, 2 seconds behind at the flag, 2.12 seconds in 3rd place. Hervé Rigoux, who feels sorry for him really because he was leading with only 3 laps to go, lost the lead again, then got caught up in the traffic. You would have thought they'd have seen the orange car coming the back markers, but they're perhaps busy having a race amongst themselves. So they're the first 3, and here, coming out of Chapel now onto Angus Straight, is the 4th car, Steve Tandy, with the yellow Nissan, but finishing half a lap or more behind the top 3, who finished covered by 1st to 3rd, 5.4 seconds. And so well done to Gareth Evans. He as he will probably acknowledge on the podium, the best car, and great drives by Nicolas Manassian and Hervé Rigoux to take 2nd and 3rd place. And Steve Tandy in 4th place. Roger Wills should be 5th with his Lancia, number 5, and 6th place will go to Peter Merrick, although Mike Donovan has absolutely been charging along over the last few laps. He's come up to within 5 seconds or so of Peter Merrick, but I think the C2 category will go today to Peter Merrick, whereas who won it again also yesterday. No, Mike Donovan, sorry, Mike Donovan, I thought he did. Mike Donovan won it yesterday, and we're just waiting for... We've had, in fact, Roger Wills dropped back on the last lap, so Peter Merrick takes 5th place. 6th is Roger Wills in the Lancia number 5. 7th is Mike Donovan, who at the flag was only 4.8 seconds behind Peter Merrick, but between him and Peter was Roger Wills with the number 5 Lancia. 7th then Mike Donovan in the number 111 Spice. In 8th place, number 28 should be, here he is now, Kent Abrahamson with his Nissan, who a lap ago moved ahead of Peter Stubber with a Viscanda, who who should bring the Australian car over the line to take 9th place.
And down there at the wing is Bruce Jones. He's on the podium with the winning teams.
Well, what a Group C race that was. An endurance race, 30 minutes, short in terms of endurance, but chock full of entertainment. Gareth Evans took the trophy, will take the trophy for victory there. A fabulous drive from Gareth. Nicola Minacio, 2nd place in a car he'd never driven before. And Hervé Régou did some of the best moves of the race, 3rd place for Hervé. But let me walk up and talk to Gareth, who won. But boy, did you have to work with that big silver Mercedes C9.
Yeah, it's a big old beast. Fantastic race with Hervé. Thanks a lot, Hervé. It was great. But it's just brilliant round here, that car. It's handful, but great.
But the race ebbed and flowed. I mean, you both had a go in the lead, and you had stronger points on the circuit. But just at the end, you know, you came through, and Hervé dropped back a tiny bit. But then you had Nicola closing in and closing fast.
Yeah, I know. I think Hervé was a lot quicker through the slow stuff, and I had a bit more power in the long stuff. So that ebbed and flowed, as you say. I didn't actually see Nicola.
If you'd had another lap, you would have seen him, I can assure you. So, Nicola, you turn up here to drive the Peugeot. You drove it in the incredibly wet in qualifying, and then you come out today in the race in a totally different car in the dry, but in the Lancia. What was that like?
That was wild. It's a wild car, and that's proper work. I mean, it's very easy, the car of today, but this is, I'm very tired. It's like changing gears and heeling toes, clutch. It's fantastic, and it's thank you to Rupert to lend me his car for today. You know, it's been a lovely car, and they're very fast. They're very fast. I couldn't catch them. I was pushing like crazy, and I couldn't.
But you very nearly did. Anyhow, 2nd place, great drive there from Nicola Minacio. Now, Hervé, you led the race away at the start, but every lap a battle with Gareth Evans.
Yes, I led not so much. Very sadly, that was very equilibrated. You know, he was fast in certain point, and I was fast in another point, and that was very exciting because you have to observe and to wait the right moment to try to overtake. And he didn't make any mistake. I was waiting for, but he didn't. So okay, no, that was very nice. But I have a few problems at the end. And I'm a little bit disappointed to let the 3rd place to Nicola. But anyway, that's a race. But no, that was very exciting.
Well, it was fabulous entertainment. So let's now have the trophies, and the one for 1st place, I think we should award the largest one to Gareth Evans, who won a fabulous race. Lots of applause to Gareth, please. Well done, Gareth Evans. 2nd place trophy to Nicola Minacio in the Lancia. And finally, in 3rd place, we could suggest he maybe deserved more. Hervé Régou in 3rd place in that wonderful Jägermeister Porsche.
There we are, the podiums then. Done for that race. We've still, of course, got 3 more races to come. 3 more podiums for the girls there to do their presentations. Lovely to see Nicolas Minacio, but a shame, unfortunately, that we can't see. Sorry, I was just giggling by the way that the girls are posing by the just sort of click into a particular pose. That's such a shame that Nicolas Minacio, who's wearing the Peugeot overalls there, wasn't